Mike Tyson, a name that still sends chills down the spine of boxing fans worldwide. A man who wasn't just a fighter but a storm, an unstoppable force who entered the ring with the ferocity of a wild animal and left opponents trembling on the canvas. In his prime, Tyson was the most spectacular knockout artist the sport had ever seen. Opponents didn't just lose to him, they barely survived a round with him. But behind the highlight reels of devastating knockouts, there were moments where even Iron Mike looked vulnerable, nights when his throne seemed to wobble, when monsters across the ring pushed him to the brink of defeat. It was in those moments, when the crowd held its breath, when victory seemed to slip from his grasp, that Tyson's true greatness was revealed. Because no matter how close he came to falling, he always fought tooth and nail to remind the world why he was called the baddest man on the planet. One of those moments came in 1990, when the world saw something they thought impossible. Mike Tyson defeated. At the absolute peak of his career, Tyson was shocked by James "Buster" Douglas, a fighter no one believed had a chance. Douglas entered as a massive underdog, but fought with the heart of a man who had nothing to lose. He battered Tyson round after round, landing crisp jabs and uppercuts that left the champion stunned. Then came the 11th round. Douglas unleashed a vicious uppercut, followed by a brutal combination that dropped Tyson to the canvas. The world gasped as Tyson, dazed and fumbling for his mouthpiece, was counted out. It was chaos, pandemonium. Iron Mike was human after all, but defeat didn't erase his legend. If anything, it fueled it. Soon, new challengers stepped up, believing the Tyson era had ended. Donovan "Razor" Ruddock was one of them. Ruddock was no ordinary opponent. He was a wrecking machine with devastating power, seen as the man who could permanently end Tyson's reign. Their 1991 clash was nothing short of war. From the opening bell, the two collided like wild beasts. Tyson, hungry to prove himself again, attacked with relentless fury. He slipped shots and countered with bombs, flooring Ruddock with a monstrous left hand. Yet Razor wasn't ready to fold. He roared back, hammering Tyson with uppercuts that rocked the champion and had his fans fearing the worst. By the 7th round, it looked like Tyson's time might truly be up. But greatness isn't measured in dominance, it's measured in survival. Tyson dug deep, unleashed a merciless combination, and forced the referee to stop the fight. The razor had been blunted. That night, Tyson reminded the world that even when battered and bloodied, he was still the king. Years later, in 1999, Tyson faced Francois Botha. On paper, it was supposed to be routine. But Botha came in unafraid, armed with a jab, dirty tactics, and mind games. He clinched, he wrestled, he even mocked Tyson, making the former champion furious. Tyson, blinded by rage, nearly got himself disqualified when he twisted Botha's arm in a clinch. The fight descended into chaos as tempers boiled. But when Tyson finally regained his composure, the outcome was inevitable. In the 5th round, with one explosive right hand, Tyson sent Botha crashing to the canvas. The underdog couldn't beat the count. Just like that, Tyson had turned humiliation into triumph. Of course, Tyson's journey wasn't always about brute force, it was also about facing giants. In 1987, Tony Tucker stood across from him, a towering fighter with an undefeated record and the IBF title. At 34-0, Tucker wasn't intimidated. In fact, he mocked Tyson, taunting him, waving his hands, treating him like a child. But taunting Mike Tyson was like poking a hungry lion. Enraged, Tyson hammered Tucker with body shots and vicious right hands. Tucker landed his own bombs, even stunning Tyson with an uppercut that could have changed history. Yet Tyson's will proved greater. Round after round, he wore Tucker down, stripping away his confidence until victory was his. In the end, Tyson stood tall, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Then there was Frank Bruno, the muscle-bound British powerhouse. Bruno was built like a Greek statue, with arms as thick as tree trunks. He believed his strength would be enough to humble Tyson. For a moment, it seemed he was right. Bruno caught Tyson with a left hook that wobbled him badly, leaving the crowd in shock. For the first time, Tyson looked vulnerable. But that moment was fleeting. Tyson responded like a man possessed, unleashing a savage flurry of punches that left Bruno helpless. By the 5th round, the referee had seen enough. Tyson had transformed the hulking Bruno into just another name on his list of victims. But perhaps one of the most personal battles Tyson ever fought wasn't just about boxing. It was about pride. In 1986, he faced Mitch Green, a tough New York fighter with a gangster reputation. Green trash-talked Tyson endlessly, promising to smash him, mocking his appearance, and dismissing his skills. But when the bell rang, Tyson answered the only way he knew how, with violence. He battered Green with hooks and uppercuts, sending sweat and blood flying. To his credit, Green didn't fold. He survived 12 rounds, absorbing punishment most men would never endure. But Tyson's dominance was undeniable. He walked away the clear winner, proving that talk means nothing when the fists start flying. Mike Tyson's story is not just about victories. It's about moments of vulnerability, about times when defeat seemed certain, but sheer willpower and raw ferocity carried him through. He wasn't perfect. He could be reckless, emotional, even self-destructive. But in the ring, when his back was against the wall, he showed why he was a phenomenon unlike any other. From the crushing loss to Buster Douglas, to the brutal wars with Razor Ruddock, to the chaos with Francois Botha, to the giant slaying of Tony Tucker, to the demolition of Frank Bruno, and the blood feud with Mitch Green, every fight revealed a different side of Mike Tyson. A man who could be humbled, but never truly broken. In the end, Mike Tyson will forever remain the most spectacular knockout artist of his era. A fighter who struck fear into the hearts of opponents before the first punch was even thrown. But more importantly, he was a man who, even when pushed to the brink, always found a way to rise again. That's what makes him a legend. That's what makes him Iron Mike.